Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a story that honestly casts a really long shadow over one of the world's most famous marine parks.
It really does. It's quite unsettling when you start digging into it.
Yeah, imagine this. It's the serene, early morning hours at SeaWorld Orlando. Everything's quiet. And then this discovery happens that's just so chilling, it almost sounds made up.
Completely. A man, lifeless, naked, found draped across the back of Tilikum. You know, the orca who would later become so clear. Tilikum had been involved in a trainer's death back in 1991, Kilty Burn, at Sealand of the Pacific in Canada.
And tragically, he would kill again. Years later, in 2010, senior trainer Don Brancheau. Another absolutely chilling incident that really ignited a global outcry.
It really did. And it wasn't just this record of violence. It started to signal maybe a profound misunderstanding or perhaps disregard for how these incredibly complex animals cope or fail to cope in these confined environments.
Yeah.
And connecting this back, it's fascinating, isn't it, how Tilikum really became the focal point for that whole debate about animal captivity.
He absolutely did.
He wasn't seen by critics as just some cuddly mascot anymore. Some people started describing him as like a ticking time bomb, a creature just profoundly damaged by years of isolation, maybe forced performance.
And knowing about that prior incident in Canada, it undeniably raised questions. Like, why was SeaWorld still using this particular whale with that history in shows, with trainers in the water?
It highlights that tension, doesn't it, between the drive for entertainment, for profit, and the actual well-being of these, incredibly powerful, intelligent animals.
Definitely. Now, after Daniel's death, his parents did file a lawsuit against SeaWorld.
Right, they alleged the park failed to, post adequate warnings about how dangerous orcas actually are.
But that lawsuit, it was ultimately dismissed. SeaWorld maintained its stance. Daniel was responsible for his own death. He essentially, they argued, brought it upon himself by trespassing.
And while that might have been the legal outcome, dismissing the suit kind of inadvertently fueled more public distrust, didn't it?
It seems like it did. For critics, it solidified this perception that the park cared more about its image, maybe its bottom line, than about safety or animal welfare.
And that really set the stage for the intense scrutiny that came later, especially with the documentary Blackfish. All those lingering questions, why no cameras there, why no alarm system triggered, how long was he in the tank, it just deepened the mystery and fed these concerns.
The full truth. It feels like it might have drowned with Daniel Dukes that night.
Yeah.
So Daniel Duke's death remains, I think it's fair to say, one of the most disturbing, most perplexing incidents ever linked to a captive orca.
Without a doubt. And Tilikum, of course, became the central figure in Blackfish. That film really blew the lid off, exposing the darker side of marine entertainment, raising huge global questions about keeping orcas captive at all.
It really shifted the conversation.
And in the end, Daniel Dukes, he became more than just, a casualty of this incredibly strange, tragic event. He kind of transformed into a symbol.
A symbol of what, do you think?
Well, maybe two things. A symbol of how little we perhaps truly understand the minds of these powerful, intelligent creatures we keep locked up, the psychological toll it might take, but maybe also a symbol of, as one source put it, the people society overlooks, a stark reminder of mental health struggles, of transient lifestyles, things that often go unseen, even when they intersect with these very public, seemingly happy places.
That's a really powerful point. It definitely leaves you with a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Given this whole case, what does it truly mean for us as a society to coexist with and understand these incredibly powerful, intelligent animals, especially when we're the ones holding them in captivity?
Right, and maybe tied to that, what's our responsibility to people who might be vulnerable or struggling, people like Daniel Dukes, perhaps, even when they show up in the most unexpected circumstances?
Those are heavy questions, and they definitely resonate long after you finish looking into this case. It's something for you, the listener, to really ponder.